my screen. I did just a couple PowerPoint slides because I love the visual to guide us along the journey, where this is going to be short and sweet and direct tonight, you guys. But who is ready to go out there this year? Last week, Reagan did an awesome call about goal setting. You guys did your shred, you set your goals. We've got new team members. Who's ready to go out there and really kill it? And when I say kill it, help a lot of people live better. Okay, are we about anything other than that? No, okay. So you know what? Don't worry about the numbers and don't worry about what anybody thinks. We are here to impact the people that are placed in our lives. I love that we are doing this call on Martin Luther King Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Okay, hold on, you guys. I got to find my PowerPoint. And so you'll have to bear with me because my screen is like, my kids did something to it and I can't find anything. So, okay, let's do this. Okay, so we're going to talk tonight on the birthday, on this day that we celebrate, that we pause and take time away from school and work to think about one of the great heroes of our nation, and somebody who was, he probably experienced a lot of fear, right? But he showed up fearless and made such a massive impact. And we get the opportunity, hold on, to do the same thing. I'm just trying to move this thing. Okay, so we're going to talk about playing your edge and making a massive impact. I can find, and I'm Ellen Graham, and I am going to tell you more about my story in a second, but certainly the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. lived an extraordinary life. And this was a new quote of his that I don't think I'd ever heard, that my pastor posted this morning. And I think if we can all start from this place versus what we want to get from life or people or this business, what can we give, and ask that we be used to take who we are and who we want to be and what we can do, because remember, we all have something we can do, and use it for a purpose greater than ourselves. I think that is what inspires me so much on my Juice Plus mission. So I am a national marketing director. I've been a national marketing director for almost 4 years. I started as a Juice Plus distributor in the summer of 2006. That little boy that's on the left-hand side in the picture was a newborn baby. He was in a sling. And I was a brand new mama. And I was 31 years old. For the first time in a long time, I had stepped away from corporate America into my maternity leave, and I was home with him. We knew that we wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom. That in and of itself was a huge life change. I also physically felt very depleted after that pregnancy. Thankfully, that's when my friend Dana shared Juice Plus with me. And you guys, she was very direct. She was actually wearing a Juice Plus pin at another friend's baby shower. And I said, what's Juice Plus? And she said, it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And I said, if they can really put fruits and vegetables in a capsule, I think I probably need that. Because y'all, I always say it, I was fat and exhausted, and it's okay. There's no shame, right? So I appreciate that she was direct with me in that moment, and quickly shared the information, followed up with me to start the product, got it shipped to me, and followed up on my experience. In those first few weeks on Juice Plus, my energy picked up. I lost about 10 pounds of baby weight, which always feels great when you're carrying around that extra. And I said to her, I think there's really something to this. Well, she had been calling me, asking me if I'd listened to the educational CDs that she'd shared with me. And of course I hadn't. And this just goes to show the value of keeping in touch with people and asking sometimes the same questions over and over. But I finally listened to those CDs because I didn't want to be rude, and I did want to return them to her. And I was blown away by the research on Juice Plus. She had shared with me Dr. Du Bois, The Whole Truth in 15 Minutes. And as someone who had suffered from an autoimmune disorder, no doctor had ever told me that the food I ate actually created my immune system and was the building blocks for all cellular function in my body. I had just been given meds, and basically told I would need both my hips replaced by the time I was 40. I had fortunately gone into remission with RA, but to hear Dr. Du Bois talk about how food can build a strong immune system, and I could see that I wouldn't have to worry about that, that disorder coming back. Then hearing Dr. Bill Sears, undoubtedly America's favorite pediatrician, talk about raising healthy families. You guys, that message was really resonating with me. I had Dr. Bill's baby book on my nightstand, and I was going through this change. It wasn't about me anymore. Now it was about this little baby, right? And raising him in as much good health as we could. So that was my story, and that's the silver lining, sugar-coated story. What I want to share with you tonight is in those early days of sharing Juice Plus, I experienced rejection. I experienced one particularly, I would characterize it as kind of a bitter interaction. And I share this with you guys because the point is that, and I'm going to get to this more in the end, but that's just part of the process. We're sharing a message. People may or may not be ready for that message, but someone is waiting. I am so thankful that this was shared with me, that my friend was bold, that she wasn't shy about it, and that she just shared the information and let me make my own decisions. So I had a really good friend at the time, and she has the breast cancer gene. So she has upwards of an 80% chance of developing breast cancer in her lifetime. And she really lived in constant fear of breast cancer, constant tests, preventive screenings. And it was kind of this thing that overshadowed her life. So when I had, Dr. Du Bois in my hand on a CD and those fruit and vegetable capsules, she was one of the first people I went to, and I said, I am so excited to share this with you. This is one small thing you can do that would reduce your risk and maybe give you a little peace of mind. She took the CD, she listened to it, and when I followed up with her a couple of days later, she told me I was absolutely crazy, that I had gotten in one of those things, and she couldn't believe I was so stupid and gullible. She also subsequently tried to talk a mutual friend into not doing Juice Plus with me. That friend, I will tell you, is still a customer to this day, takes her Juice Plus every day and has had some great results in her health. I tell you that because that was heartbreaking for me at the time. I didn't expect that. I am a naturally enthusiastic person, and I just felt like I got shot down. My intention was purely to offer her, some hope and some help, and she personally attacked me. It was also a wake-up call for me about who I was hanging out with and spending my time with, that maybe it was time, and this journey does this to you, to start up-leveling areas of your life that maybe you haven't paid a lot of attention to. So that was my story and my start. However, I continued to talk to people. My cousin, my good friend Joan Hellerick, who's still on our team, joined our team right away. We were getting customers like crazy. I did my 2,000 plus. It was called the 10-1-10 back then. We didn't even get the bonus, you guys. We just got the commission. And quickly, qualified my business the following month, and then moved on to sales coordinator over the next 6 or 7 month period. And that really gave me this life. I love this picture with my boys at the Rockies game. Getting to that initial $500 a month with Juice Plus gave us the breathing room so that I could stay home, have another baby, take care of these guys, be the one to raise them, and not worry about having to go back to work. In addition, and you guys know this about me that know me well, it gave me such a purpose outside the home. So I always say, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, that my mission was born when we went through some hard times when we lost a team member, but I think that mission was there from the get-go. So, and I know that because of how I shared with that friend who was negative about it, and like, so what? We went and got 100 people on Juice Plus in 6 months, and those people all had changes in blood work and more energy and all those wonderful things that we know Juice Plus does in your body. So I want to start tonight. When I talk about playing your edge, I feel that every human being is created with a purpose, with a passion that's unique to you. And sometimes we get caught up in comparison and, you know, we think, oh, if I could be like Wendy Campbell, I could go out and do the business really well. Or, oh, if I could be like Reagan Dean, or, you know, we go to conference and we see the famous people of Juice Plus, and we've got to stop comparing ourselves. We've got to think about what are our own strengths that we bring to the table. So I'm going to ask you guys to take a minute and think about, how would your inner circle describe you? The people that you love, they love you, you trust them, they trust you, they celebrate you, you celebrate them. How would they describe you? And this is actually a really fun exercise to put on social media. You know, ask your social media friends, how would you describe me in 3 words? But take a second and write this down. And is anybody willing to share? I'm going to so totally pick on Rachel Van Pelt because she's grinning and she's drinking wine. She's getting called on in class.
That's funny. Oh, you know, I think people would describe me as level-headed and logical and trustworthy, loyal, probably a little bit of a geeky scientist that you know, likes to have a little fun. But yeah, I don't know. It probably depends on what circle we're talking about. If we're talking about my old academic colleagues versus my soccer mom friends versus my neighbors, I think probably everybody sees a little bit different side of me maybe in some ways. But one of the things I like about Juice Plus, the Juice Plus community, is that it allows me to, I guess, show all my, you know, my geeky side, my fun side, you know, trying to be social side, awkward, whatever. It's funny how you kind of compartmentalize and you have different circles that see different things.
Okay. I love what you just said. I hope you guys all heard that, because we do sometimes show up a little bit differently in different areas of our life. But those are the very things that create your personal edge, your personal brand. And sometimes you can play those a little differently than you ever have and play them to your advantage. So I want you to think about those traits over the next couple of days, and maybe even reach out to your upline, a sideline buddy, talk about that and think about, you know, what is your edge? What are the things that make you uniquely you? And are you really playing to that strength as you're going out and having conversations with people? Obviously, I am a high energy person. I'm generally pretty confident, although that struggle's real every day, right, guys? You know, I'm an inspired person. I tend to be very convicted by things that I believe in. And so I use those to my advantage. And when I'm really rocking my business, when I'm really making an impact, I am playing to those strengths. I'm bringing those strengths to the conversation. I am not playing small. I'm not shrinking back. I'm playing big, and I'm not so worried about the shots that I miss, because I just keep making shots and eventually something's going in the net. Okay. So that's a really fun place to start with this journey. And then think about 3 successful people you admire. They can be people you know or don't know, celebrities, they can be Juice Plus people. And think of attributes of them and why you admire them. Or you'll always think of Wendy Campbell in our company. If you guys are new and you haven't heard Wendy Campbell yet, you will. She is I believe, the most highly paid female in our company. I think she's got over 100 national marketing directors in her downline. Wendy's an RN, and Wendy is passionate, and she is in your face, and sometimes she's a lot for people. But you know, I really admire that because she shows up 100% all in, determined to make a difference. And I'm not so concerned about the opinion of the one person in the room that maybe thinks, oh, she's too loud, she's too abrasive. I am really impressed with, there are millions of people's lives probably at this point impacted because of her work, because she's willing to open her mouth and have direct conversations with people. So think about that, right? Okay, so let's talk about the mission. And this is, gosh, 6 or 7 years ago, up skiing with, that's me in kind of the off-white colored coat, and then 2 people over is my friend Jax. We were up skiing. That was at a time when her cancer wasn't so crazy bad. She could really get out and enjoy the outdoors. And I always talk about this point in time as when my mission was really born with Juice Plus. I knew Juice Plus was important, but I also think I went through a lot of years where I kind of treated Juice Plus like it was a Lexus. A Lexus is a great car, right? It's so well built, it's reliable, it's stylish. But do you need a Lexus? Well, no, you'll be fine with a Honda or Toyota, right? And I think I kind of looked at Juice Plus that way. But while I was, in relationship with Jax, while she was still on this earth, I learned a lot about how whole food nutrition is not a luxury item. It is a necessity, and we need to be getting it into as many bodies as we can. So when I initially started sharing Juice Plus, I talked to everybody. Jax had been one of my clients from back when I worked in the ski industry. She was one of those people that in the beginning said, oh my gosh, you joined one of those things. Thanks, but no thanks. Good luck. Ha, ha, ha. And every probably year or so, I would invite her to a Prevention Plus, and she would come up with an excuse and not come. And we grew pretty close during my pregnancy with Rory and after. And she was just a dear friend. She'd come over and go on long walks with me while the boys were, babies in the double stroller. And she had been trying to get pregnant. She had had 3 miscarriages. From what I had learned about nutrition at the time, I knew something was really misfiring in her body. But infertility has become so common. Her story was not the only friend in my circle about infertility or issues carrying a pregnancy to fruition. She called me one day, and I was just certain I was going to pick up the phone, and this would be the call that she was pregnant, and that this would be it. They were finally going to have a baby. What I heard on the other line was shocking. She said, Ellen, I'm scared. I was changing clothes the other day, and I found a lump in my breast. And she subsequently went through chemo and radiation. She went in for a double mastectomy and reconstruction, I believe in December of that year. And when she woke up, they had removed every ounce of tissue and skin off her torso that they could and still close her up. They had done pathology during the operation. Her cancer was a far worse cancer than they ever knew. In fact, the chemo and radiation had made it spread. It was called inflammatory breast cancer. The doctors in Denver said, we don't even treat that here. You need to go to MD Anderson in Houston. So what was going to be a hopefully short or 12-month bout with breast cancer became a life-altering moment, not only for her, but everyone around her. For the next 2 years, she battled that cancer, and I will just tell you, because I think it's important to be blunt, we need to know who the enemy is, and we need to be bold in fighting it. They burned her with every chemical possible. They radiated her. They cut things off her, and they tried everything, and that cancer was just vicious. In February of, I'm trying to think of the year, I think it may have been 2012. In February of 2012, she had metastases literally from her knees all the way up through her brain, down into her elbows. And she had just gone to conference with us a couple months before. She had decided to join our mission because when she got sick, she came to one of my little lunch and learns, and she said, she stood up at the end after we had shared this science and shared our stories, and she was crying. She said, my gosh, I wish I would have listened 3 years ago. What if this would have made things turn out different for me. And she said, what you're learning today is true. She goes, I grew up on mac and cheese and hot dogs like every kid in this country. I don't know what caused my cancer, but she basically said, you need to get Juice Plus. And that was one of those events where everybody in the room ordered, and it wasn't because I gave a great presentation. It was because the emotional impact of her story. She joined our team because she was getting all her friends on Juice Plus, and I said, well, you at least need something fun to do while you're going through all this crappy chemo. So I was really bold and direct with her about that, and she joined our team. She did her 2,000 plus and qualified her business. We did events when she felt good, and she continued to reach out to people. But the day that they told her that, you know, the metastases were everywhere, there was nothing else they could do, they brought her home to Denver. And I was walking out of a wellness presentation when a friend of hers called me and said, you know, Ellen, hospice is here, and it's not looking like she's going to make it through the night. And I think I went home and I grabbed my Bible and I called Reagan and cried my eyes out, and then pulled myself together and drove across town. And her mom was there, and about 15 of us who are friends, and we were there with her as she passed away that night. And it was a really devastating loss. And you guys, she was 40 years old. They had 3 embryos frozen, waiting to have babies after she was over her cancer. I've watched her husband amazingly rebuild his life. He married a woman who also lost her husband in his 30s to cancer. And you guys, people in their 30s and 40s are not supposed to be dying of cancer. We're not supposed to have little pubescent girls getting breast cancer, okay? The statistics that 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will get cancer in his or her lifetime are real. And this came to life for me. And, you know, Reagan and our team and my upline really helped me shape this tragedy into using a lot of emotion, which for me is passionate, fiery, angry, sad, you know, kicking and screaming, and turn it into something that could create positive change. And that's when our team really started to duplicate, because we went out there and we boldly and directly approached people about sharing Juice Plus and getting themselves on it. And, you know, this is my quote, because in network marketing, there's a lot of little sayings like, well, some will, some won't, so what, who cares? Well, I think we all know that in the Juice Plus mission, we do care. So yeah, is it hard that that friend said no 13 years ago and totally poo-pooed me for what I'm doing? Yeah, but that's her journey. I did my responsibility, which was to share with her. She's responsible for her own decisions, but someone is waiting. And I decided early on with this mission that if I wasn't going to help the people closest to me, I was going to help somebody's best friend or mom or sister or aunt. And you have that opportunity, and really, guys, kind of an obligation to do that, right? So let's talk about just being direct. I think what so often gets us stuck, and then we're not experiencing the positive stories, so we get a little bit stuck here, is we're beating around the bush and we're talking to the same people over and over. So promise me this, if you'll promise me anything this year, is that you'll talk to lots of new people, that you will open your eyes in the morning and thank God for breath in your lungs and say, okay, put me in front of the people that need me today, that need to hear about this today, and be direct. I am just kicking off my year talking to everybody and saying, hey, so many good things are happening. When can you and I have a conversation about what we're up to with Juice Plus and how this could look for you? Those direct conversations, sometimes it feels really scary or bold to say things like that. You guys, it sets you free. The truth always sets you free, and it makes it easier for the people that we are engaging with as prospects. So we can lead with the mission. We don't always have to lead with the product. We can lead with the mission. We are, and this is my personal mission, yours might sound a bit different, but we are helping people up-level their health, their finances, and their purpose in life. Would you like to hear how it would work for you? That's a pretty direct and simple question that can quickly lead to an event, a cup of coffee, exchange of information. And, before I go to a cup of coffee with someone, I'll text them 2 of our videos to watch so that they've got some info and we have some content to discuss how this could look in their life, how this could help them up-level their life. Who do they know that needs to hear about this? Because I am so fortunate. Dana told me about Juice Plus, right? Because she got hooked up with someone who told her about Juice Plus, who had heard about it from Reagan, right? And I mean, we all know Reagan got dragged in somebody's basement, right, for a thing she didn't want to go to. But you guys, let's be bold. Let's be the grown-ups and let's be bold and direct with people and go out there and really make a huge impact, because you don't know who's out there that there's a really scary diagnosis coming 10 years down the road, and maybe that's preventable right now. And I always go back to that. We'll never know. I always think, okay, when we get to heaven, God's going to tell us all this stuff, right? We get to find out all the secrets. That's always kind of how I've envisioned the afterlife. But I think that gives so much passion to our purpose. And, was it ever about me? No way. Has this done enormous things for me and my family? Heck yes. This has given us an extraordinary life. And that's the thing that you see in this community and that hooks you and that should give you vision, is this is a place where ordinary folks like you and me, I don't care if you're a geeky scientist, I don't care if you're a fitness trainer, you're a hairdresser with 3 little kids, whoever you are, you get to create an extraordinary life here. Just go out and start having the conversation. So that is the end, and I would love to open it up for some questions or anything else before we end.
Ellen, I thought that was awesome, and you brought tears to my eyes just with the whole Jack story, who was an amazing person on our team, and I miss her so much. And she blessed so many people, even though she knew she was on her way out. And I think that that's what's extraordinary as well. So, we have the opportunity to bless people, and you guys were all doing that together. And I love being on this mission with all of you. I just want to say thank you.
100% agree. I mean, can't even put into words how much you all bless me. And I'm so thankful to have you in my life. And it's been a while since I've really talked about Jax, and I'm glad I did, because, I know that we went through that for a reason. And
Well, Ellen, I just want to say thank you for being vulnerable to share that, because I know that that's not easy. She was very close to you. And I just think tonight what you shared was a huge tribute to her. So thank you. It was really, really powerful, and makes me want to go out there and do the good work. So thank you.
Well, I think it's important we don't hide our light under a bushel, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I did a call with a group of girls that were in my first Brave Leaders, and we talked about what I've talked with you guys a lot about, is that we all have a light to shine, and sometimes it's really easy to go, well, what will they think of me, and we shine it ourselves, versus turning it around and going, who can I bless? Who's next, right? Who can I see? And it's not about being pushy. It's about bringing it up so that you can bless people's lives. And, we can do that in lots of different ways. And we can teach you how to do that without it feeling uncomfortable for you. There's lots of verbiage and some ways to kind of lead into that conversation. But I think that if you can, even when you're brand new, I know sometimes it's so hard to bring it up because you don't want to be that salesperson or whatever. But I think that if you can think, why am I doing this? I'm doing this so that this person, I can get this information into their hands and they can decide for themselves. Then you have the opportunity to make a difference in their life. And it's really up to them whether they decide to take that information. They're either going to want to have a conversation with you or they aren't. They're either going to want to get on Juice Plus or they aren't. They're either going to want to hear about our mission or they aren't. They're either going to be a resource for people or they aren't. And, it's just our job to kind of give them the answers to that as to why we are passionate about it and let them decide for themselves. And what I found on this journey is that the more people that I give information to, actually, I'm always pleasantly surprised that most of them are looking for a way to up-level their health, up-level their life, combination of both. And, you know, sometimes one leads to the other and it's all good. So.
Well, absolutely. And I think sometimes, you know, if people are kind of trying to blow you off, just say, look, Juice Plus has been around for 25 years. You're going to hear about this from somebody. I want you to hear about it from me. A few times, someone on this call included, I've told people, well, listen, I know you're not going to do it, but would you at least pray about it this weekend? So Lisa's here now.
Lisa's laughing. I can tell who that is.
I know what the good Lord thinks about Juice Plus. So, you know, there's there's that. And, you know, I think it's worth noting Jax's husband, who's remarried with a beautiful little baby girl now, still has that business, you guys, with probably 12 or 13 customers to this day. So, you know, think about that. That ripple is still going.
Yep. Pretty awesome. All right, you guys, thank you so much, Ellen. You're amazing and awesome. You guys are all amazing and awesome. Let's go out and bless some people this week. Thank you guys for all you do. Thanks for being part of our team. Thanks for inviting people to join our team. And let's go make it a great week.
Take care, all.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, for hosting, Reagan. Thanks, everybody. Good night.